Hello, Berks Branch. I wanted to record this song because um, it has been an interesting part of my spiritual journey for the last few years, really. Maybe 3 years ago, my pastor was preaching a sermon, and in that sermon, he said, everything God does, he does for his glory, and everything God does, he does for our good. And I heard it. I was sitting right there, I think on the front row, waiting to do, one or two more songs after the sermon to close out the service and worship. And I grabbed my journal and I wrote down those words. I kind of had a tune in my head, and I literally, the minute he sat down from preaching that sermon, I got up and sang the beginning of this song. And it's the simplest song I've ever written. It's the simplest song you may ever hear. But in this song, it simply repeats that over and over, along with one other refrain, that everything God does, he does for his glory, and everything he does is for our good. And that would be a beautiful idea in the abstract, right? Removed from the circumstances of life. But that idea took new meaning when Pastor Steve and I were called to the hospital room because one of our members, a young lady, had an 8-month-old boy who had been diagnosed with brain cancer and was in the midst of treatment. And we were called to go to that hospital room and to anoint him with oil and pray over him. And we did, and it was a heavy time. To our amazement, Brayson lives today. And I want to say he's probably about 2 now. And I remember thinking, the next time that I sang this song, everything God does, he does for his glory, and everything that he does for our good, even cancer. And then some time passed, and some other circumstance happened that was a little more happy. And I thought about it again, and then something else happened, and I thought about it again. And then eventually, God brought about these unique circumstances where we moved from California to Kentucky to go to this school, not knowing what doors he would open for where we would live and where we would go to church and where I might serve and how our income would be supplied. And when things didn't go very smoothly when we first arrived in Kentucky, there was just this tremendous anxiety and fear and, God, what is going on here? Why did you lead us to Kentucky? Why are we here? Was this the biggest mistake of our lives? We thought so certainly that you were drawing us to Kentucky. And then I remember singing this song, that everything God does, he does for his glory and for our good. And that those two realities are not in competition with each other, but that they harmonize together perfectly. And so I want to share this song with you, hoping that there may come a day where you stumble across this song on YouTube, or we sing it in church or something, and it may strike you the way it struck me in these moments of fear or anxiety or uncertainty or even coronavirus, not knowing where income will come from, not knowing how God will bring about the fact that all things work together for the good of those who are called according to his purpose, who love him and are called according to his purpose. How that good will come about, I don't know. But I do know that he assures us of that as we keep our trust in him, he sees to it that all things work out for good. And he's now done that, and we are so happy that God brought us to Kentucky. But I can tell you, for the first 3 or 4 months, we were miserable and very, very heavily doubting God's goodness. And yet I kept singing this song. He's done it for our good. He's done it for his glory. He's done it for our good. So here's everything you do. Everything you do is for your glory. Everything you do is for our good. Everything you do is for your glory. Everything you do is for our good. You are enough for us. You are the God we trust. You are enough for us. You are the God we trust. Everything you do is for your glory. Everything you do is for our good. Everything you do is for your glory. Everything you do is for our good. You are enough for us. You are the God we trust. You are enough for us. You are the God we trust. You are enough for us. You are the God we trust. You are enough for us. You are the God we trust. So everything you do is for your glory. Everything you do is for our good. Everything you do is for your glory. Everything you do is for our